Happy April Fool's Day. Oh, God. I hate that day. Hi, Bobby.
Hey Pat, how are you?
Good. Do you like April Fool's Day?
I do now
Why?
because like I could call somebody last night and be like, "Yeah, I think you're the one. I love you." Then I could text them and I'd be like, "Ha ha ha! April Fools, go get
No, but
tested."
no, but you just said, oh, I didn't hear the last part of the fun prank. But you can't do the prank first, right? And then just reveal it April Fool's Day. I think you have to do it on April Fool's Day and then later be like, if you proclaim your love on the 31st, that's just love.
Oh boy, I'm in trouble.
Yep.
I got seven
Loopholes.
bitches who are gonna be really mad.
Seven. Probably mostly because you just called them all bitches. I just don't like April Fool's Day because people like to tell you, like, especially when you're a comedian, oh, this must be a great day. Like, we have our own retarded holiday. Like, why would we
I
have
mean,
this day where you and I get together and go, hello, today's the day we act as fools?
that's
Good
the
morning,
day.
Johnny Benson.
It's not our holiday, Pat. It's for special people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen some good pranks, but I don't do pranks. I write a joke. I don't. I'm a
Yeah,
pranks guy.
I mean, you worked with one of the greatest pranksters of all time. It'd be hard to be a pranks guy now.
I never worked with the guy. I was gonna make a joke. I don't know any of the names for the people from Practical Jokers. I was like, I'm gonna say like Scooter or some shit. I don't know their fucking names. Whatever.
Sal Volcano.
There you go. Yeah, I think they fucked it all up. April Fool's Day for everybody because when they started doing that, and everyone's like, they're the funniest guys ever, and then everyone's like, well, they're not comics. And then like two or three of them at least started doing stand up and like selling out theaters and arenas. We're like, God damn it! Like now they're comics,
Yeah,
and now people think we're supposed to do pranks. I don't do pranks.
they did kind of blend the two areas nicely. I was gonna say YouTube kind of ruined the prank. Do you remember? Were you ever a fan of the Muslim guy who would wear like a full hijab and then would just throw a backpack at people and start running?
I was not aware that this man exists. I'm bummed
Yeah,
out.
dude. It's like hijab hero or something he calls himself, and he would pretend like he would like leave his backpack and then like slowly take off or just stuff to pretend he was gonna blow people up.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah,
Or how
talk
about
about
those
having a
ones
new
where like
perspective of life where you're like, oh, I thought
I
I was
like
gonna
those
die.
I like those fun pranks where like a black lady goes to like McDonald's and then she's mad she didn't get fries. So she pretends like she's mad by jumping over the counter and beating the shit out of a white lady and flipping
And then
out
she
and
walks
yelling
in,
World Star. Yeah, those are
and then
good
she comes in and
pranks.
goes, April Fools.
Now it doesn't normally happen that way, but this weekend it worked. Do you think Jesus was doing a prank? Do you think the calendar lined up with April Fools? Where they're like,
That
you've
would
been
be
dead for
the
3 days.
that would be the ideal April Fools.
He just comes out and goes, I wasn't dead. That's dumb.
If those 17 people from October or whatever resurrected, would that put an end to Christianity, you think?
Who are the 17 people from October?
Remember the guy came in on a paraglider? They were all like jamming to the music. He's like, that's not jamming. This is jamming. Oh, my gun doesn't jamming.
Oh, you know what? It's funny how many murders I forget. Because I was only told to remember one. To be fair, I've only been told only one should not be forgotten. All the
Which is
rest are like,
crazy.
forget it.
You would think the U.S. government would want us to forget about that one in particular.
Nope, never.
Never
Never.
ever.
No. Sandy Hook, forget. It's like, Columbine, get that out of your silly mind. That's gone. The Titanic,
Uh,
stupid.
Baltimore Bridge, I was told, give a little more time by an audience member when I made a joke about the bridge
Did you go like,
in
did you
Baltimore.
wait 1 minute and then tell the joke again?
No, I said, what? Did you know somebody? 7 people died in a city of 600,000. I think we're fucking safe.
All my family members. This was supposed to be
Yeah.
a table of 8.
It was like, then go to the funeral. It should be happening right now. Don't be here.
I like that they tell you to give a little time because then it's gonna hit.
Yeah, like the boat on
You
the
just
bridge.
wait like it out. You just wait like a weekend or two, and then man, that joke is gonna pop. Oh, it's so dumb. But no one's gonna know about it in a week or two. That's the problem with that shit. I know people get mad at it, but we're comedians and we're trying to tell jokes that everybody, can relate to and understand. And something that everyone knows about, everyone's at top of mind is there. It's very hard for a comic not to go, oh, everyone knows about it. Like Ari Shafir would get in trouble for like the Kobe thing, but everyone knew Kobe died. So why wouldn't you make a joke when you don't have to explain the joke? You don't have to explain anything. You just say a boat hit a bridge, but you say that 3 weeks from now. Like I was looking back at an old clip of mine I saw from years ago. I had a joke where I was like, "What am I joking about?" But it was about Ferguson, and I forgot all about Ferguson being like an issue where there was. I think there was a. I still don't remember. I think it was a shooting, but there was an issue. Not Turd Ferguson.
Oh, okay.
No, like Ferguson. I think it was Missouri. We're gonna learn. We're gonna do like a history lesson on POS. What was Ferguson? I can't even spell Ferguson.
Ferguson
Fergie?
definition.
Fergalicious?
Make them boys go loco. It's funny how we both did the same thing, but you just quoted.
We
what
both
I
went
was
for
saying.
the shit show. Ferguson City, Missouri. What was there? It was riots.
Oh yeah, because of a killing or something.
Yeah. See, yeah. But at that moment, when it's like Ferguson, it's like whatever. We would do that. Columbine is not even the number one shoot 'em ups. You know what I mean? Like it always moves around. But remember,
it's that
Batman movie shoot 'em up guy? Like no one talks about Batman movie shoot 'em up guy.
Oh, I think about Batman movie shoot 'em up a guy all the time. Trust me.
Why is that not a rap song? There's been millions that recently were just dumb things. Batman shoot 'em up movie guy. Batman movie shoot 'em up guy. Batman. They're all just jumping. The guy goes.
Yeah, he's a mumble rapper.
Mumble guy. Get out of here. Turd Ferguson should be a SoundCloud rapper name back when they were big. That would have been a good. Because you can't sue for that one. Turd Ferguson's not really a guy.
Dude, it's not too late.
For us to do mumble rap, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm going to get my face tattooed.
Oh, man, what are you getting?
Hashtag faith, God, and benefits, just FGB right here.
Oh, just the initial. I was like, that's a long thing.
Yeah, no, just hashtag FGB.
Dude, I told the best joke in a car, and I was so proud of myself. We were driving, my girlfriend in the highway, and a big tractor trailer on the back of it, it said horse trans, and obviously it means horse transportation, but it just said horse trans. So I'm like, and I'm just laughing. And she has a good sense here. She's laughing with me. I go, she goes, what? I go, horse trans? What's their pronouns? Nay, them. Dude, I was so happy with myself that I got nay, them. And she's laughing. I'm like, I got to put this on Facebook. When I put it on Facebook, she's like, why'd you put it like I didn't laugh? I'm like, I don't know. I was trying to make it so I was like an idiot. She's like, no, it's a great joke. And everyone underneath
That's how
like, this is the best joke. Nay, them.
I saw it. Man. Yeah.
I'm proud of me.
You should open with that.
Thing, I said the thing. I did the thing.
I conquered the thing. I fucked the thing.
I'm almost thinking of telling the joke
now
I
I'm a
just told
thing.
to you. Not telling it like a joke, but telling you how, like, you know how you think like you're funny and people will like your personality, and then you think of this.
Sometimes you're right.
That's who I am. Hello, they, them. But yes, I'm sorry. Happy Bobby and I digress. We haven't talked over the weekend, so we were catching up. But yes, happy Monday. Welcome to April. Good morning, everyone. And yes, I know you're waiting. It's April. Do we have stingray babies? The answer is no. No, we do not.
April Fools, we do have babies. We got all you nerds at home.
But when I was looking for it, I found out that there is a woman who is a marine biologist. I forget her. I think it's Telly's Marine Tales on YouTube. And she does stories about things that happen in the news all the time. And it kind of like relates to people. So I found her because there was a link when I Googled it saying what you've been saying, Bobby. The beginning of it said, is this real? Is Charlotte the Stingray really pregnant? Yeah. Hey, Dominic, how are you, sir? Good morning. Yeah, that's the best April Fool's. There's no baby. Good morning. Yes, like, you know how you thought you weren't going to sleep for 9 months, buddy? Like, guess what? April Fool's, I was never pregnant. Baby's dead.
Do you think they serve angel food cake? if it has a
That
miscarriage.
day?
Yeah.
Because they're angels now. They're not tots anymore.
I was just seeing if that joke worked in podcast form because I've never seen it work in stage form.
John Mulaney's version?
No, different version. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just meant the cake part. But John Mulaney's angels and tots from the New York.
No, that's a great joke. Yeah. The angel. Somebody does an angel food joke. Never seen one.
Yeah, oh, nice. So shitting on other people's April Fools. Your joke's not good.
April Fools.
April Fools. I have AIDS. Like, wait. What's the fooling? You don't, or you do?
I fooled you into fucking me. Now you have AIDS too.
April Fools. AIDS. AIDS for fools. AIDS for fools would be good if you tell people, because now AIDS is so fun to have because you see the commercials with like the marching and the camping and stuff that you could just do AIDS for fools. It's like you just be foolish with AIDS for the weekend.
I'm not wearing your April Fool's ribbon.
HIV. The V stands for blah, 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 blah. I'm so silly. Wait, that's not a word. I know. I have AIDS. It's like that's the main part of this story. It's not the jokes. It's not I have. You just keep saying it and laughing. Like, I have AIDS. And they're like, do you have AIDS? Like, yeah, but I thought it was easier to take if I giggled.
No, that's my penis. It's easier to take if you giggle. That's how you get the AIDS.
Oh yeah, your penis was in me all along.
April Fools.
You pull a mask off. You think it's a guy. It's just my dick. It's like, oh no, it just got in there. How did you pretend you were Fred from Scooby Doo the entire time with your penis? Anyway, good morning, everyone. Yes, Charlotte Stingray. There was shit talking going on with this woman here in this video. I was gonna play the video, but it's a long fucking video drawn out. But this woman starts talking about, hey, everyone keeps saying, is there really a pregnancy? And then she starts off. She goes, the problem with this story isn't so much the pregnancy, but now that it was announced the way it was announced, everyone just keeps thinking it's going to happen like everything else, where it's just like humans and stuff. And that's not how this works, especially with this very rare, the pathogenesis, where it doesn't come out that way. It can be any time. We can't really predict when the beginning was because we don't know when the cells happen. So it's not like there was two things fucking and then we can count from them. There's not this thing. So, but she goes, more importantly, the reason why this story is getting so big and TikTokers are covering it and all that stuff is because this one woman, Brenda Raymer, this lady calls her out and goes, did a terrible job of announcing it. And I was like, uh-oh. And she started doing shots fired. And she goes, the problem
bang,
is
bang.
she said the worst thing she could have done was say to out loud, oh, she didn't become pregnant until after we moved two sharks into the tank. She goes, I have no idea why she said it that way. Maybe those two things are stream of consciousness. But in reality, it made everyone think there was going to be shark stingray babies. And then the way she put it was, that can't happen. I know we've said it. That can't happen. It could not happen. She goes, yes, shenanigans can happen, but it's not like a shenanigans between you and your cousin. It's like shenanigans between you and a lemur. And I'm like, that is the craziest analogy I've ever heard.
That's how we got AIDS.
No, but not even that. First off, it's not like shenanigans with your cousin. It shouldn't be shenanigans when you sleep with your cousin. It's not tomfoolery. It's incest.
That's what that bitch is from the South.
South Australia. It's like that's what but she said that this was all messed up because they're saying that it made everyone think this crazier thing.
Wait,
when it was never
she's from
Australia.
That. It would be shenanigans, not like when you fuck your cousin, like when you fucking abo. Some real shenanigans going on here. Your daddy's like, that's a different species. How'd you fucking abo? You can't get pregnant by no abo.
Hey Gunther, don't fuck your cousin. How about I love the didgeridoo don't joke. I will do that. That's a great.
Day. No. That one got me.
I couldn't think of the right fucking
up, Gunther, up.
Whoa. Points.
Justin Tower 2, like, motherfucker, xhamster.com. Here we go. I'm going out like Kobe, scoring 60 points on the way out.
Three. It's just fucking raining down like a fast game of Tetris. Just flying out, like points.
Dude, you're running down the stairs like points.
Do you remember the movie Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe, where at one point he's seeing all the numbers flash all over the fucking screen? That'd be like, it's 3, 6. Oh, Siamese.
Woo!
Oh, by the way, congrats to our Siamese ladies. That wedding was this weekend. They had the most beautiful wedding. The conjoined twins. Yeah, what a beautiful wedding.
Did both of them get to wear a veil? Or did they just
One
throw a
just had
sheet over it?
One had a box over his head. And they put the rings on top of the box. So it was like a little table.
Shit, you got your built-in maid of honor.
I mean, they're like, who's the maid of honor? They're like, come on.
No one has any honor at this wedding. This wedding is very dishonorable.
But like, so I was like, well, so who's the maid of honor? Is it your sister? And they're both like, you think we have fucking friends? Look at us. We're terrifying. This guy's fucking us. Someone call the cops. Holy shit.
Just one last thought on what Tristan had up there about 9/11. That's why all the Saudis were dancing the night before. They knew how many points they were going to score the next day.
Yeah, but you don't want to pre-celebrate. You know what I mean? That can happen. That happens, and then you're ruined.
I'm with you. Don't celebrate conference championships around here. That's what I yelled at my family on Easter.
Who lost that you guys are mad about?
No one. They were just like, you're angry all the time. You're miserable. You need to celebrate the little victories. And I just was like, me and Magic Johnson don't celebrate conference championships.
No. Yeah, you know who's not celebrating conference championships? Illinois. UConn beat the shit out of them. It was real close to the first half. And then UConn just goes, oh, yeah, I forgot. We're UConn. It just stomped the shit out of them. I mean, the announcers at one point were just like laughing so much. The one goes, I would say that they demolished them, but it's a decimation. We have to use a harder word.
Jesus.
But them in Alabama should be a good game. Alabama runs, they score. It should be fun to go. I'm waiting for Giant Freak versus Giant Freak. If you get a Purdue UConn thing where you get the two giant 7-foot goons just lumbering there, they're not going to do much. They'll cancel each other out, but then you get to watch a real game. I mean, how do you...
You picked the championship I'm 100% rooting against, by the way.
Yeah.
I hate that peckerhead from Purdue. I don't like UConn because of their women's team. That guy thinks he's a good coach because he's the most dominant coach in women's sports of all time. It's like, all right, just say you're a creep.
You do know that if I say anything bad about Gino Auriemma, I have to pay more taxes in Connecticut, right? So I can't.
That's exactly what I'm trying to set you up for. I know he's a hero to your people, and I'm trying to set you up for failure. Something weird if he was that good a coach and go hang out with dudes.
But here's the thing. I am kind of on your side where it's like, I know we talk about him as being the greatest of all time, and he was offered with men's jobs, and he wouldn't take it, whatever. It's like, why wouldn't you take that? There's more money. Even if you're making that much money, you definitely have more chances. And it's like at least Mike Krzyzewski did attempt and try to coach professional basketball. And it was like, no, college is what I do. I could be good at both. I still coach like dream teams and shit like that. When Calhoun was our coach, the men's coach at UConn, everyone's like, no one else can ever coach this, whatever. And yes, there was a couple lulls in between, but now that we got Hurley, he's just dominant. If you're a really good coach, people will come to that school, even though it's a tiny little shit thing. So someone else could take over for Gino and do an amazing job as well, because everyone already knows that's the factory for basketball. So it's not his shit. But Final Four quick. Yes, I would love to see North Carolina State continue to move on. Real quick story. And by the way, Charlotte the Stingray, no babies yet. We'll let you know.
Sorry, yeah, we got so far from that.
So far, but you can go check out. We'll put a video link underneath that other woman so you can see her talking shit about it. But we're not even gonna do a piece of shit story on it because there's no babies. Who gives a fuck? It's April. Who gives a fuck? We've been doing it since April. Fuck off, Charlotte. When your babies come, I'm gonna ignore them. I'm gonna pretend they're not there. I'm gonna be like a deadbeat dad from the start, saying, "Hey, my babies. I don't know shit about those babies."
That's what Charlotte's gonna do too.
Saturday night, went out to eat at this place, and we went early, so it was like I'm older anyway, but like this was like old timers, early bird, whatever, eating dinner, and sitting one booth next to us. There's no one else in the place, but the one booth they put us at a table, whatever, like right next to them was the world's oldest woman, and she was yelling to her daughter, who's like 10 years older than me, about how much she loves college basketball. The daughter doesn't know anything about it, but this lady, I guess, talks about it at her senior center, wherever she lives at, the assisted living place. And she's going on about, but she knows her shit. And she's going on about, like, she's like, because the lady's like, what? Well, she's like, UConn and Purdue. She was even saying it before the games happened. She's like, they're the number ones that everyone feels like will move on. And the lady's like, oh, there can't be 2 number ones, Mom. And the mom goes, it's a bracket. Like, she got like mad. Like, here's her daughter pretend she has dementia going, you don't understand numbers, dummy. And her mom's like, fuck you, it's a bracket system. There's 16. 15.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, it's like, this is why I live in a home and not with you, shit daughter, whatever. So they're going on. And then she's talking about how, she goes, well, you want UConn to win, obviously. Who else do you want to win? She goes, well, I'll tell you who I don't want to win. North Carolina State. And that kind of perked my ears up. Like, wait, that's weird, because they're the 11 seed. People are like, you're kind of rooting for this. Well, you want one underdog. And if you know anything about college basketball, North Carolina State has a soft spot in the world of anyone there because of a coach years ago, Jim Valvano, who won a surprise national championship they shouldn't have won. And he celebrated by running around like a psychopath. Everyone thought it was the best with his energy and loving it. Years later, terrible cancer battle, and lost that, and then started that phrase, don't give up, don't ever give up, became the V Foundation, all that stuff.
When cancer beat him, it ran around the court like it won.
Yeah, and it's like, give up, always give up.
Yeah. It's just running around like shaking his fist.
And it wore a Duke sweatshirt. It's like, all right, you didn't have to wear a Duke sweatshirt.
Whoa.
Christian Laettner's a tumor? Yeah. Anyway, by the way, that documentary is coming out on Netflix this week. We hate Christian Laettner. I can't wait for that on Netflix. But anyway, so this woman's talking about North Carolina. She doesn't say everything I just said, but I know that. And then she starts to say, yeah, I can't root for them. Like, why? And then she starts to explain kind of what I said to her daughter as I'm listening. And she just goes, yeah, a long time ago, North Carolina State won, and their coach was a real jerk about the way he celebrated. And then she goes, and then we were supposed to care that he had kids. I'm like, yo, is this me as an older lady? Am I here watching my future? Like, this lady rules. And she's like, so I can't root for that crap.
Old lady made the same joke I did. I love this. Is she available to be a guest?
It was the best. Hopefully she makes it. But unfortunately, North Carolina State did win. So there is a small chance North Carolina State makes it to the championship. I doubt they're going to be Purdue. But, there'll be 2 good games. The problem is, these games, Monday's championship, I'll have no problem watching. But this weekend is WrestleMania weekend. And as much as I want to watch UConn, it'll be a battle between what I watch more, my dorkiness. So,
when's that happening?
WrestleMania?
Yeah. Is that Friday and Saturday?
Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday. That's what I meant. Okay. So, yeah, you're kind of
both days. Yeah.
Host.
Yeah, Sunday you're fine because there's no game on Sunday.
Yeah,
Saturday,
but you're missing Saturday. Yeah. Maybe skip Saturday. Yeah, you don't have to watch Saturday.
If UConn goes earlier, plays the earlier game, then because the main thing you want to watch is the main events in that one. So it's like whatever. But that's my dorkiness there. Bobby, you got any stories?
I got a story. Yeah, man. Do you want music, politics, or international politics, spying kind of going on?
Spying.
Okay. Do you know what Havana syndrome is? I didn't have time to do my chat GPT for the stories today. So, do you know what?
No, I'm kidding. As Havana, it's like, and then the person said, "Waka waka." I don't know anything about this story at all, so I don't know Havana syndrome. I know nothing.
So, Havana syndrome was something that happened in, you guessed it, Havana, Cuba, where people would get like a ringing of the ears, super nauseated, really disoriented, almost like out of the blue would be drunk. A lot of people were saying it had to do with sound waves and things like that being used to target people. This story really, Tristan said it, that thing with the crickets. This story really first popped on my radar when former CIA member Mike Baker commented on it and was like, they blamed it on crickets. That's the most horseshit cover up I've ever heard. And Baker doesn't swear. Like, he doesn't get edgy. So he's like, there's something going on here. Even Kamala Harris was said to have suffered from it. And the right was like, oh, that's bullshit. She's just drunk in Cuba and making excuses. Well, today the news broke. Havana syndrome linked to Russian military agency GRU investigation indicates.
Gru? The guy from
Gru.
Isn't Gru that guy from what's it, the Minions?
The Minion movie. Yeah. Isn't that funny that their Secret Service is called that guy? And that's how I would picture every Russian Secret Service agent.
Like a fake Gargamel from the Smurfs. No, they had the bootleg Gargamel. Say what you want.
Yeah.
They ripped off Gargamel.
And what is Gargamel? A bootleg Stalin?
Yeah. If I said to you and you didn't know anything about history, two of the Russian, I'd say Stalin, Lenin, Gargamel, Gru, you would not think I was joking. We wouldn't think it's April Fool's. You'd be like, those are two men.
Yeah, Gru was a Bolshevik. He decided to overthrow the czars. Yeah, you would be right on board with it. But
Gargamel and Putin were together in the Secret Services for a while.
Basically, they're saying an investigation that wasn't sponsored by any nationality. So, like, it wasn't a nation-backed cause. It was an investigative study, is blaming it on the GRU. It's been linked to over 100 cases of unexplained health incidents, including American spies, diplomats, yada, yada, yada. Evidence has been gathered by 3 separate media outlets that links the GRU's unit, they gave a number, to the assassination and political destabilization caused by this. Their mission is to find, fix, and finish all in support of Vladimir Putin's imperial dreams. So, who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Gru for being called Gru? Is it Russia for still popping shit in Cuba?
Gru for being called.
Is it, as ZZ, aka Tristan in the chat, pointed out, very convenient that it's linked to Russia now of all times? Is it the media? Is it us? Shit's popping off in Cuba. Of course it's fucking Russia. Anytime things go south in Cuba, like the Bay of Pigs, it's Russia or the Irish guy who's fucking some whore's fault. Or is it the U.S. American intelligence who, in a report last year, said that a foreign adversary was very unlikely to be involved in the agent? Pat, we're going to kick it to you first.
Oh, seeing I'm the only guy here? Okay, so yes, I will do it. It's not... I do feel bad that someone lost out on their imperial dreams. I know back when I was a boy and I had imperial dreams. Dreams of running the empire, driving around with Chewbacca, going up there and having that big parade at the end. And everyone's like, you did it. You won space. That's my imperial dreams. But you don't want to take those away from a little boy. So it's not anyone who's doing that. It's fine. It's not Gru for being called Gru. They can't help they didn't call themselves Gru. They called themselves the bigger word. And it wasn't even in our language. So we made it Gru. Gru, isn't Gru also as Groot, right? Groot is the thing from Guardians of the Galaxy. That's different. That's a different
That's Groot. I am Groot.
I am Groot is one thing. No matter what, anything this word sounds like is cartoons. So I guess it is good to have a name that is like cartoons. So then you go, oh, they can't be that scary. They're cartoons. You know what I mean? Like if you and I started like a terrorist group or like a militia and we called it like Peppa Pig, I think people would think, okay, they'll just let us do our thing. Because oh no, Peppa Pig's coming to fucking take us out. They wouldn't give a shit. It's smart to have cartoon names. That's it. The piece of shit in this story is me. Because I could talk to you for 4 hours about North Carolina State and UConn and all that. I could talk to you about Caitlin Clark getting offered a ton of money from people, sports things I could do, other fun things I could do. But you mentioned all this stuff. I don't, and even Tristan and other people in the chat going, oh yeah, this thing. I always realize that I have not paid attention to anything around me when some of these stories come up. I don't know anything about the crickets. I don't know what Gru is. I know where Cuba is, but every time someone says Cuba, all I think about are people who want to play baseball in America, and they use cardboard boxes as gloves. Because you always hear that story. It's like, we could not afford gloves. We use a cardboard box. It's like, then they're like, well, that's how good they are now. I'm like, well, you'd be terrible now because a glove would feel way weirder than a cardboard box. That makes no sense. But
also, they're all pitchers. They're all pitchers. The glove's not that fucking important.
No, it's not. How about the part where you're not supposed to be here? Get the fuck out. Anyway, it's like you're taking away white people jobs in baseball. Where's the guy with a fucking sweet mustache? Where's Raleigh Fingers? Today's Raleigh Fingers can't play because you stole his job. But
fucking Bauer's out because of a couple of very violent sexual encounters. All because all these Cubans are here.
Yeah, but you know what clears that up? A couple dingers. It's all you
Yeah.
do. Bing! It's like rape, rape. But
Okay.
there's a clip.
Yep. Somebody's gonna take that out of
Swing-
context.
swinging a rape. Anyway, it's like, oh no. It's like, but yeah, I don't know anything about all this stuff. So even when you say these things, I'm like, I know their words. I don't know what's going on. I'm an idiot.
So basically, God, the reason why this story is on my radar is because of the men who stare at goats. The CIA wanted psychics.
Great
They did
movie.
a lot of research with sounds. The movie covers like the initial part, but the CIA kept doing all their experiments. They just realized psychics were bullshit. So they do things with sounds. Abu Dhabi, they had the pictures come out of the guy who was being sexually humiliated while they played
And then Abu Dhabi to you too, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And also with you.
Uh,
But yeah, like it was something was going on very clearly. I know it's easy to blame Russia now because we like need a reason to keep hating them, but something was up all along. For me, the piece of shit in this story is you and I. Because do you know what GRU stands for, Pat? We should have known this. Glavnoy Rabdavnodor Upravlene. Which
I
actually
Great
just
Retarded University. I was like, I'm a Great Retarded University.
it literally just means cheap intelligence office. Chief intelligence office in Russian. It's the same as our CIA. It would be like them being like, what? They sing about the chandelier girl? The one on the Kendrick song?
You know what, Bobby? That was a pretty good one that you did right there. That was a very good, really quickly. How do I make this art thing? Go see ya? Dude, fuck you, Russia. You would never do that. We have our Bobby Tamburo. You don't have a Bobby Tamburo.
We can't stop them.
Go to
They're unstoppable.
CIA.
We're supposed to stop them. They're unstoppable.
Hey, I see you. What you doing? Hey, I'm walking here. Hey, see ya.
They're like a candle in the rain.
It seems to me you lived your life like a stupid bitch in the wind. Hey. That's me if an Italian guy was Elton John. GRU is military intelligence. Hold on.
Chairman Meow's helping out. Yeah.
We need when politics happens, we need Chairman Meow. So GRU is military intelligence, FSB is FBI, SVR is CIA. Whoa, it's like a decoder ring. FSB, isn't that Fox Sports Boston?
They hate to say minorities. It's okay. It's their branch. They just don't realize it.
FSB is funny, silly blacks. That would be the thing we have like a TikTok and say black people just jumping over counters and being nuts. And then we put up FSB, funny, silly blacks, and they just jump around.
Sounds like another network.
And then SVR, super violent retards. I think it's come out battling.
I thought it was special victims rape. It's like SVU, but they take them and then they're like, you thought you were safe, but now the cops are the ones doing the crimes. In the Russian justice system, the women who make allegations of rapes and the cops who rape them. These are the stories.
Just Ice-T going, bitch. I got you again, bitch.
Wait, we raped?
Hold it down, Rich. Hold it down, Richard Belzer. It's time. Oh no. So don't use my real name, Ice-T. Use my name.
You know what they say when I fuck you, rape victim? There goes the neighborhood.
Colors. I don't care what color you are. I'm just raping. What's the BBU?
BBC.
Okay, yeah, all right. Like, no, he wrote 40 of them. God damn it, God damn it. Anyway, yes.
Thanks for trying, Dominic.
Just like a New York cop, we just beat that joke into the ground. I like how I'm the piece of shit for not knowing stuff, and you're like, no. We're the piece of shit for not knowing stuff. But
yeah, let's see what we can do together.
That's how retarded we are. We're covering the story.
You guys aren't going to find special victims rape on Fox News.
They have to find a new way.
It's like the dunk contest of rape. They give them a 10.
I don't know if you remember, but I used to try to do a bit. It kind of just, the crowd wasn't on board. But I did special victim retards. on a special retard unit. I did
Oh,
SRU,
nice.
and it was just the guy. I go, there really isn't an episode. It's just one guy going. Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun,
do
dun.
remember that joke.
And I'm like, and they're like, there can't be a lineup because it's just 5 in the same head. You're like, I don't fucking know.
Their greatest defense.
They're all just licking the window, the 2-way window. They're like, ah. People are like, hey, Pat, give it time. I'm like, oh, okay.
Number 4 step forward. They all step forward. No, just number 4.
Just like your bridge joke. It's like, Pat, you just give it a little more time. Like for retard cops. By the way, that's a good show too. Retard cops. It's just cops. They have body cams, but they're facing the wrong way. The body cam's on their back.
You just hear a lot.
You just see someone else mad going like, what? You see someone like us going, what the fuck? So retarded goes, walk a straight line. The guy's like, you walk a straight line. He's like, you got me.
Remember Cat Williams about if Shaq pulled me over when Shaq was a sheriff in Miami?
No, I don't remember that bit.
He'd be like, can you step out of the car? Motherfucker, can you make a free throw? I had a parlay on the game last night. You fucking cost me.
You know that scenario. I know Shaq was a cop. That'd be crazy if you're like, able to yell at him about free throws while he's arresting you.
Also, Cat Williams is one of the tiniest individuals I've ever seen. Shaq's one of the
Yes.
biggest. Just the imagery would be very funny there.
I also like the idea of a retarded cop pulling someone over and then saying, can you do the alphabet? Every answer is just, can you do the alphabet? Like, damn it. It's just like it's license and registration. Do you have a license and registration? Are you put the re in registration?
I registered this gun. Get out of the car.
I'm a registered retard. I got my license right here. That's like the Theo Vaughn joke where he's like, my neighbor, he had Down syndrome. I mean, his mom didn't have the paperwork or anything, but we know he was the paperwork. Oh, fucking Jesus! All right, so I mentioned it for a second, but what do you know about the latest Caitlin Clark news? Caitlin Clark, for everyone that doesn't know, is the greatest women's college basketball player on paper of all time. I mean, people might argue other people at different times, whatever, but between her and the girl from LSU, Angel, whatever, they are just making everyone give a shit. Their ratings are high as fuck. Everyone's giving a shit about women's college basketball. Not everyone, but way more than were before, to the point where people are starting to say, okay, can Caitlin Clark make a difference going to WNBA? But
no.
Ice Cube feels differently. You know what Ice Cube's involved in with basketball?
The Big Three.
Right. The Big Three.
That's a 3-on-3 league, right?
Yep, they don't play a ton of games, but they do. They play them, and it gets good views. They get a lot of stars. They get like old time players, players. They're new ones too, but they're mixing them up so you can have like legends and things like that. Ice Cube. This was supposed to be private, but it got leaked. Ice Cube offered Caitlin Clark $5 million to play 8 games for the Big Three. They compared that. The highest paid player in the WNBA right now for a full season makes $275,000. She'd make $5 million for 8 games. Draymond Green, basketball fame, superstar player, controversial guy, came out and gave advice to Caitlin Clark and said, "Don't do it. It's not enough money. If he's throwing you 5 right now, think about what your value really is. This should be the thing where this should change women's basketball. This should make the WNBA be better at getting people their eyes on it. They have to do the job, because if some guy's willing to throw you that money for just 8 games and then that's it, think about how much more money you can get out of merch and all these things here. So you should really be pushing it towards the other way. Hold out for more stuff." Of course, she's like looking at this like, will I ever have this opportunity again? So this is the ultimate striking while the iron's hot. She is the best player right now, but once she goes to WNBA, and I hate to say it, she just falls into that, we're going to forget about her. There's a ton of, like, Cheryl Swoops was amazing when she was playing in college basketball. No one remembered about her when Candace Thomas, all these people, like, they just weren't talked about in the news. You'd watch ESPN maybe at the end, but there was no publicity behind them. This is going to go away. No matter how good she is, it's not. I mean, people have been talking about, could she play in the NBA? But there have been people asking about that. Now with the way the defense is being played and with spacing, Why couldn't she shoot threes and be a player on the team? You know,
ironically, the answer to that is one of my favorite memes going around the internet right now, and the answer is simply the guy who gave her advice. Draymond Green is why she can't play in the NBA. He will punch her in the face.
And that's why I was bringing that up, because they have talked about that too. And Draymond Green, even talking about the other stuff, did say, "Oh, and I've seen that stuff about that. Whatever." He's like, I wouldn't be guarding her anyway, which I thought was a great. He didn't say he wouldn't knock her out. He just said, "Why would I be guarding like the smallest person on the court?" But I'm not going to get into why she couldn't play in the NBA. It's the size difference is too crazy. No, even if she didn't play much defense, shooting with a guy who's 6'4", the wingspan, it'd be so hard for her to take any shots. Whatever. But the girl can shoot. The girl can play basketball. There's no shot in that in any way. She's great at it. But should she take this big money? Because if you take that big money right there, you're signing to this thing. You're not signing with the WNBA. You're not helping advance women's sports in that regard, even though it's not really hype there. But there will be a backlash towards her. Like, you could have, in people's minds, you could be the savior. She's not going to be the savior. There's just not enough behind it. People don't care. But who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it Caitlyn for waiting and not saying anything yet? I know she's definitely she's still in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
But this is all being talked about. Right, but they didn't win the whole thing yet. I mean, like, obviously they're still going through. A lot of people that don't even feel they're going to win the whole thing. They could. But obviously she should focus on her task at hand. But at the same time, and I hate to say it, no one gives a fuck about her task at hand. She could definitely talk about, yeah, I'm going to sign with someone else. Nobody would be like, that's take away distractions. Her whole season, her whole career in college basketball, the last 2 years have been a distraction. Scoring records, now she broke the other record for the most points in the NCAA tournament. Talks of being the best player ever. All these things going on. There's been nothing but distractions for this team. Her bringing up this thing, just get it out of the way. Just be like, I'm going to the NBA draft. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I might be going to the Big Three, whatever. Is it Ice Cube for throwing this kind of money at that? I get it. He wants to make it so people pay attention to his thing. I've never seen a Big Three game. I wouldn't even know where to watch a Big Three game. I wouldn't even know where to go visit it. I don't think I really, be honest with you, I don't think I'd ever go watch 3-on-3 basketball unless I was going to watch the NBA players of now play 3-on-3 basketball. You know what I mean? Like, if you said the Bucks were going to play fuck a whole team, and the Bucks were going to play the Suns, where the Bucks had, Giannis, Dame, and Middleton,
Lillard,
and the three of them go up against Durant, Booker, and Beal, I'll watch that all freaking day. Those guys flying around the court, that'd be amazing. And not having two more guys get in the way, playing half court set, it'd be crazy. Watching Caitlin Clark, John Sally, and then like whatever celebrity wants to be on their team. It's fun to say, oh, look at them playing. But it's like when you watch the NBA All-Star game the day before when they have the celebrities play. No one watches that day. Everyone watches everything else. They see highlights of Kevin Hart being goofy and shit, but no one gives a fuck. And I don't think Caitlin Clark should be put into a circus like that. But I get what Ice Cube is doing. Ice Cube's just trying to get the thing out there. Like, he's saying he didn't leak it. Obviously, someone leaked it. It would be from his people. It's not like Caitlin Clark's people would do it. Caitlin Clark probably is not even thinking about that at all. She's probably more if be honest, knowing the way her mindset seems to be, she's probably thinking more of, is there a way I can play in the NBA? More than she's thinking about the Big Three. Not that she would, but that if you're going to choose one of those two scenarios, she's probably thinking of that one the other way first. If I'm the Detroit Pistons, and my team already stinks this year, and we've been losing for a long time, I think about signing Caitlin Clark. I think about just going, how do I get people to come in here? And that would be freaking crazy. All of a sudden, she's on a jersey sales would be insane. But, like, there'd be too many logistics, too many problems. But is it Draymond Green for weighing in and saying anything? I mean, you already are a controversial guy. I get that's your thing. But nobody was asking. Yeah, your name was thrown in with the other memes and shit like that. But when it came to the money part, you're going to give her advice. You haven't made the best decisions ever. You get technical fouls more than anybody else. You've hurt your team anytime. Yeah, you end up winning championships. You're not really. When I had to think of one guy in the NBA who's great at decision making, it's not Draymond Green. So I don't know what I want.
It's Ron Artest, Metal World Peace.
Yes. Is it the WNBA for just not being a viable option? Like, the simple fact that Ice Cube could literally, like a Ringling Brothers, be like, I'll throw you this money to go do this thing, instead of the actual league for that, for women's basketball. Like, why can't you go there? It's like, I saw a meme the other day. Somebody said, hey, I saw AIs fucking around again, and they made a mistake. I saw this video. They said WNBA. That's not a thing. Obviously just being dickheads, but it was very funny because everyone's like, it can't be real, whatever. So who's the piece of shit in this story about?
Well, a lot of people say Draymond is the piece of shit, like Dominic in the chat, for trying to throw it into Caitlin Clark. But for me, I don't think he's being a bad guy here. I think he's treating her as a basketball equal. The last time we had this kind of crossover talk was Brittany Griner. Do you remember?
I thought there was one right after, but yeah, basically you're right.
But she was basically like, I want to play
but she was
one-on-one
more
against
about dunking.
Yeah, but she also did her thing where it was like, I want to play one-on-one against DeMarcus Cousins. And everybody laughed at her, except for, I think it was Gilbert Arenas, who was like, if she made an NBA team and she practiced with them for 4 years, by the 5th year, she could probably be all right in the NBA. And it's like, so I think it's kind of like giving an acknowledgement, like, you're on our level. It's not Ice Cube. He's trying to make his 3-on-3 basketball league relevant, and he's trying to make his league relevant. She's trying to make women's basketball relevant. At least you have two efforts pushing together for the same cause. Whereas the WNBA, it seems like every opportunity makes the wrong call. Right? Like, if you really wanted to grow the WNBA, play all of the Phoenix Mercury games right before the Suns, and you get free tickets if you have a Suns ticket. Like, do things like that. There are ways the WNBA could try to make it work that they are not doing right now. It's not Ice Cube. $5 million is a decent amount. It's not Caitlin Clark. She's focusing on what she's doing. She isn't saying anything because, like you said, she's still playing and she wants to win an NCAA championship. I don't see why she can't do both. All these WNBA stars play overseas in the offseason. Why not do the big three? And I genuinely think that might be a good move. And I apologize for dissenting with you here, Pat, but I have watched the big three. It's on ESPN. And the reason why I watch is it's a lot of NBA legends I miss watching. You know what I mean? You see these guys
George
who didn't
Gervin, people like that. Oh yeah, but they're not them at their peak. That's why it's like kind of sad. I don't like to watch old timers play in baseball either.
You're absolutely right. I don't like that either. But the Olympics is moving towards 3-on-3 basketball. So this is something that could grow in popularity. Ice Cube could be on the cusp of, like you said, you would watch those three stars play 3-on-3 a million times all day.
It will never happen in the Olympics. I know they've talked about it, but because of the money generated by the men's going with all those players, there's no way they'll ever do it. Especially now all the European players are going. Too much money is being generated at Olympic places where people go in there to buy jerseys and things, and that thing is all about money more than anything else. You know, so I would love 3-on-3 way better. It's the same way when they're like changing up rules for other sports. Like they're talking about flag football with the Olympics and everything for a while too. I just don't think we're ever going to get, even if we did that, we're going to get real NFL players to go off and do that. You're not going to get it. And also they don't play flag football. So it's like, and rugby players could be just as good at it from like, South Africa, so.
I saw a rugby video the other day and it was a guy. It was a rugby team playing 7-on-7 flag football, and they gave an autistic guy the football, and one guy just ran and chased him down, and everybody on his team was like, "What are you fucking doing, dude?"
Jesus.
So for me, the piece of shit is several people. And I would say that Sabrina Sedonis from Oregon is where she was originally. Diana Taurasi, Leslie Miller. What's that bitch with the Lisa Lobo with the brain shot? All these NBA stars.
Her name is,
yeah. Come out. Support your girl. Be like, no, the WNBA is supposed to be. That's one piece of shit. But the biggest piece of shit, Pat, OnlyFans.com. You know the payday Caitlin Clark could get from OnlyFans?
None.
A hell of a lot more than $5 million. You're thinking porn. Nah, this bitch is just going to teach basketball shooting form to young little girls throughout the world. And those girls whose dads are so overbearing that they force them into basketball, guess what? It's a perfect pipeline right into pornography. It's a win-win. Makes the world a better place.
Because I like what you're thinking, but the OnlyFans name, she'd have to go on like a different one, like Fansly or something they don't know as well. Because like people go, OnlyFans, don't let my kid go. They're like, oh no, Fansly's a fan of Caitlin Clark. You know what I mean? Like only Caitlin Clark fans. You'd have to make your own website. Like it's just fans of Caitlin. It's the same thing, but you'd have to change the wording a little bit to get the middle of the country to let their kids go there and make that money. But yeah, I really like the idea of it.
And then there are different tiers. There's like daughter's tier where she gets the basketball lessons, and then there's the dad tier where you get the basketball lessons naked.
All right. I don't like that tier. That's stepdad tier. That's not dad.
Dad of the young girl who's watching Caitlin for the actual basketball skills. You're like, no, this is daddy's time. I don't want to score
Bobby had a
points like
nice
this,
idea.
honey. Please leave the room. I don't want to score points.
Bobby had a nice idea and he fucking ruined it. April Fools. Caitlin Clark's not real. No, I'm kidding. It's all a lie. The piece of shit in the story to me, like same thing you say, it's none of these people. I don't know anything about Caitlin Clark or what she thinks, but the last thing I think she's thinking about right now is that she's trying to like advance or help women's basketball. I think right now she's just trying to be a college basketball player and then figure it out from there. I hate when people put that on someone like that. That happened to all the people you named, the women's basketball players. Like they're the ones who can make people care about this more, and it's just like, well, that's not what they want to do. They just want to. No one says, even with like Wemby this year or LeBron when he did it, even Magic Johnson, Larry Bird back in the day when they got people to start watching basketball, that Michael Jordan came through. At that moment, no one was saying they are the thing that's going to lift it. They looked back and said that afterwards. And they didn't have to because there were so many other great players. The fact that they're like, hey, someone's got to be the one to make this work for us. That's not how it works. As an organization, WNBA, you should be embarrassed every time they say that because like, we finally need a savior. We need a savior. Well, then maybe shut down. But who's the WNBA get money from? Obviously the NBA, because it's the NBA, but women's. It's the same group doing that thing. The piece of shit is the NBA for not seeing the obvious writing on the wall. You see the big three. And what we say, you're going to put a woman and a man and a legend and all that together. And you're saying people like to watch it. It's exciting. You're right. And nostalgia, things of that nature. I don't care about nostalgia so much. In the sense of people, I care about, bless you, I care about nostalgia in basketball when it comes to, bless you, when it comes to the actual fundamentals of the game. Now, I love the current NBA. I do like a high-scoring game. I do like watching players that get to do their thing. It's amazing to watch some of these guys and what they can do. Anthony Edwards would not be the player he is right now 20 years ago because of the checking in him. And you can say, like, well, they would have shut him down. Well, he wasn't playing then. The style he plays now makes him super exciting. And those other players are watching. It's great. But with the European players coming over and passing the ball more and outside shooting, it's become a different game. You want to make a stance, you want to save things. The WNBA and NBA merge. We have a mixed teams. We have co-ed. So you're now, when you're drafting, you're getting outside shooters. So you got women. The women don't have to guard the women. You can pick and rolls. Women and men have been playing basketball in the streets forever. All these girls have been playing against guys in pickup games. They weren't separated from that. They know how to play. But if you've got an equal amount, you don't have to do like 6 and 6 for your roster, but you're going to have at least 4 of one or the other. You know what I mean? And if we combined that and you had that, men and women would want to go to the games together. The jersey sales would be crazy. Like, you have Caitlin Clark coming in and getting the torch pass from LeBron on the same team. Like, that's crazy on 12 different freaking levels right there. It's like LeBron leaving and going, no, I'm leaving this to you. And he's like, women are going to come and watch way more games now and come out. You get the TV channels you're going to get on, the promotions you're getting on both sides. It would be huge. I don't know. That's the one sport that could do it more than any other sport. People are saying, Pat, physical. It's not that game. Watch the game now. No one's physical. LeBron James gets touched and he flies. Caitlin Clark doesn't flop that way. Like, so they're all falling down the ground, not doing it anyway. It'd become a game of passing and fundamentals, and matchups would be way crazier. Like, you have a switch in Wemby, who's 7'2", has to guard Sue Bird. It's freaking wild. But then on the other side, you've got like a bigger woman going against a Trey Long from like the Hawks, who's like balding and he's 12. And it's like, what the fuck? It would be crazy to watch that thing. That's how you change all this. Fuck Ice Cube and saying 3-on-3. Somebody fucking get together and say, fuck this. Men and women play co-ed NBA. I'd be on board for it.
My solution's close to yours. It's very similar. But do you remember what was his name? Brian Scalabrine, the White Mamba?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what he did.
Celtics.
What he did when in Boston, when people were like, "You suck, you're the last man on the bench." Do you remember what he did? He tweeted out a park.
Challenged fans, yeah.
He tweeted out a park and was like, "I'll be here all day. Anybody who wants to play one-on-one," and he didn't lose a game. That's what Caitlin Clark needs to do. You want to make women's basketball relevant? You tweet out where you're at and you beat all these guys talking all the shit.
Yeah, but that doesn't do it. It didn't do anything for Scalabrine. We talk about it, but it didn't fucking matter. Nobody gave a shit. They just said, okay, he's better than... People will still talk shit. She's got to do it against the other players in the league. playing me doesn't matter. I'm just a shit talker.
You forgot my one big thing. She does this in every city she goes to, and if you lose, you have to buy season tickets to the WNBA team and go and support.
Then you've got a troll at your games yelling at you. If they went out and did that, they're gonna go and goes, "You're stupid bitch. You played me. You get." It's like, that guy can now. That guy, you're not thinking about the part where that guy can now yell at everyone defending Caitlyn, going, "At least I didn't let her score 12 in a row. I'm fucking better than you." Like now that guy can yell at all of them because he's literally played Caitlyn. No, you're giving that,
and it's not just him. It's an entire section of dudes, and then we scan to it at the beginning of every game. We introduce the teams, and then we go, and in special attendance tonight, it's Caitlyn's bitches. These are guys that thought they were better than Caitlyn, and she made them all bitches.
But they're just still talking shit to everybody. Like, literally, your whole audience is just a bunch of people saying, "I'm better than all the other players." It's helping Caitlyn.
Have you been to a WNBA game? I mean, have you been to an NBA game? That's all the fans do anyway. I could have hit that, LeBron. You're like, you're 500 pounds, 9 beers deep. I don't think you could have, sir.
Well, they say that when they're way up high in the seats. When they're down
exactly.
Court, they don't say shit. They're like, "Thank you, sir. Would you like some popcorn, sir?" So,
unless if they're Spike Lee motivating Reggie.
I would like to see them play again. It will never happen. But the women basketball players are the best they've ever been when it comes to skill sets or in the history of women's sports. Like, they're learning. The men aren't that good at skill sets right now. It actually would be. I think Caitlin Clark could break Chris Paul down. I know he's older, but you know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that I would like to see that. And there are, in the WNBA itself, there are some players there that could really play, especially if they're allowed to just play the wing. Yeah. You wouldn't have like someone playing who plays a center. A big lumbering girl in the WNBA wouldn't, but the same way Bill Laimbeer wouldn't happen now in the NBA because of the style he played. He was built for that time and not for now. So you would just have a bunch of swing players. You'd have ones and twos. But the Knicks are playing with 4 fucking. I don't go too much basketball, but the Knicks are playing with 4 fucking guards on the court right now, and not playing with any other bigs. And it's just like, if they can do that, why can't you put a female out there who can hit threes?
This just in, Joel Embiid broke his own record tonight of 100 blocks with 101. Turns out these bitches can't get to the rim.
Well, they wouldn't be driving to the hoop. I know you're saying it's a joke, but they wouldn't. Their whole job would be the same as a guy in the NBA right now who just runs to the corner and waits for the ball. As 2 guys dribble and they wait for the swing pass, pop to the corner, hit the shot. Like Porter on fucking on Denver. It's basically just swing. If he's standing in that corner the whole time, his favorite spot, he gets to shoot the ball from his favorite goddamn spot. And then that's what they would be doing. Like, they'd be in that one as other people are driving. You have the Knicks, you have Brunson flying around like crazy and he kicks it out. And fucking Diana Taurasi can just go line up for a 3. She's going to nail that 3 when everyone drove in.
I look forward to the sports science breakdown on ESPN where they're like, was Joel Embiid's block from the free throw line of Diana Taurasi's 3 as hard as a spiked volleyball? And
he wouldn't get more blocks because they're women.
Like, yes, he would. They can't dunk.
But they're not driving to the lane. If you watch the NBA, no one's driving at Embiid. He'd have to come out.
Right.
And if he comes out, your middle's now open for a bounce pass. Who throws better bounce passes? Women or men right now? Women.
Men.
Women throw better passes right now. A cutting person will get hit better. You throw a bounce pass to someone like, coming into the lane and catching it and doing a dunk on her. Anthony Edwards catching a bounce pass from Caitlin Clark and then going in and dunking on people beyond. Now, yeah, you might get a dunk on a woman, and that'd be a fun poster, but the blocks wouldn't happen much because no one's going to go inside. And when you got women, all of a sudden Joel Embiid is like less wanted because it's like, well, he's not matched. No one else has bigs. We just have this giant. He's a little different because he can shoot outside, but all their big men will be shooting outside. There'll be no inside game except for like 2 ladies arguing about their shoes matching.
I get your point. I understand what you're saying. Just they're short. Like, so we're closing out on a guy.
Damian Lillard's short. AI was short. If you're
how tall
talented
is
and skilled, you can do it. 6'2", 6'1".
How tall is Caitlin Clark?
I think she's probably like 5'10". But you'd have other women playing too. Like you're saying a scenario where there's like one woman. I'm saying the teams have women and men on their team. So there's other short people playing them too at their heights.
I would like to be the Texas Southern of this new NBA you have, where they're like, He's the first guy to play an all men's team, and they haven't lost. He refuses to play women, and they're really fucking good.
You got another story?
I do. Would you like music or more politics? Both are fun.
Let's go music.
All right. Are you familiar with the rap beef that's going on right now?
Which rap beef is that? There's always a bunch going on.
Well, this is the big one. Kendrick came out with his song Like That and shit on
Kendrick Lamar for the whites.
Kendrick Lamar, who came out with a song and
Kendrick Lamar.
He's humble. He's got it in his DNA, all that stuff. But he went after Drake and J. Cole. They didn't take any shots at Kendrick in their song. In fact, they paid him a tribute by going, "It's the big three, us and Kendrick." And then Kendrick responded by, "Fuck the big three, ninjas, it's just big me." And, took some shots at. And here's the thing, Kendrick does this once every 7 years, where he comes out, makes a really hard diss track, and then disappears for 3 years, drops an okay album that he really thought way too much about. You're like, man, if you'd put this out a year in without over rewriting everything, it probably would have been great. And then you've got Drake, who's always been in beefs. It seems like he's just walking around the guy that doesn't understand why people are attacking him. It started with Meek Mill, and then it was Pusha T. Now it's, Kendrick. Is it J. Cole, who just kind of picked a side and is now stuck in a beef for no reason? Who's the piece of shit, Pat? We're going to kick it to you first.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's any piece of shit. I think this is business and nowadays rap. I mean, this is... I'm not here saying that like they're all faking it and they're friends, but I think that with the way things get dropped now and everything is streaming, you need people jumping at something right away to listen to it 100 times. And back in the day, people did say they like lyrics, but imagine if people just listened to Bob Dylan every second over and over, but not just listening to the music going, "This is beautiful," the lyrics, but then breaking it down, looking for messages about shitting on other people. It would be crazy how many listens they would get. So you need to get people to listen. And how do you do that? By saying, "I'm talking shit on track 2, 4, and 6, whatever. I talk shit about this guy and this and that with there." So you will listen 20 times. The streams go up. Spotify pays you more money. You get way more streams and everything like that, and wherever you're putting it out there. Now, do I believe that these guys actually are sensitive people and are fighting with each other in a way? Yeah, I do. I believe there's a better marketing people behind them going, "Hey, do you know that Kendrick Lamar on track 4 said this or whatever?" And Drake's like, "Oh shit, I better say something now too about him as well." Or my people think I'm weak and they won't listen to my shit. Or even if I hint that I'm going to say something and then I really don't, they're still going to listen to go, "Wait, was that about Drake? Or was that about Kendrick? What was that about?" So that part I understand and get. But I know what song you're talking about. And with Kendrick Lamar, I appreciate the fact that he's like, "Don't let me in." Like, I think that he's head and shoulders better than those other two? No, I don't. But he does. And he always has. Every song is in the middle. He's like the Jason Derulo of rap, where he lets you know his name is Kendrick Lamar in almost every song that he has. It's like, to quote Bad Bitches, "That's my fucking problem." Like, he says it right away. He goes, "Well, it's not my fault. I'm Kendrick Lamar." We know you're Kendrick Lamar. In the middle of the song, you don't have to tell us who you are. We got it, who you are, Kendrick Lamar. You're supposed to be focusing on fucking bitches. That's what this whole song is about. It's not Kendrick, because Kendrick's talking all this shit in the world about, like, no, there's no 3 on the bet. It's like when people used to say Jordan and Pippen were the dynamic duo, and then Jordan would go, "No, I'm the best player in the world. He even if he's second best, he's only second best because of what I do." Pippen was like, "We're equal," and because they're like, "Yeah, we're the 2," and he's like, "No, we're fucking not." Like, and there's nothing wrong with Kendrick saying that, you know what I mean? So I appreciate it. It's always Drake. It's always gonna be Drake for me. Drake is always a piece of shit because when he talks shit, yeah, Kendrick talks shit and then runs away. Drake kind of talks shit in riddles and then kind of apologizes for it afterwards. He's always like fucking very transparent with like, "Are you mad at someone? You're saying this, but then a minute later, like, let's collab, yo." Like, you're just a dick. It's like that guy who picked on you in high school, but then he found out that you had a good car. So now he's like, "Oh, I was just kidding when I was saying you were gay in front of everyone you ever had a crush on. Ha ha ha. Could I get in your car?" It's like, fuck you, Drake. Stop coming in women. Stop fucking the lady from Stranger Things. That's gross. You're a terrible person.
I mean, yes, for that part, I agree. Drake is a terrible person.
Putting Millie Bobby Brown when she's a child in your video. Fuck you.
Yeah. And Drake's had his beefs, right? He started shit, he finished shit. For
Did
me,
he ever finish it?
yeah, back to back.
Yeah, I guess.
That would be the one, you
It
know.
just took forever.
No, it took 4 days. He waited 4 days. Where y'all at? I guess this is what I have to do to make y'all
No, I
rap.
know. No, I meant like the response time, whatever. But
Is
yeah,
that
I
a
get it.
world tour or your girls tour? That might be one of the hardest lines in all of rap. It would be really embarrassing if the only time you were performing was because of your girl.
Yeah, well, you know what? Good, yeah. So
That would be pretty embarrassing. Like if you were a headliner and now you're just.
Yeah, remember when you were in Canadian children's television? Shop.
So I get him. I get the Kendrick doing it for attention. He's on Eminem's crew label, all that stuff. That's what Eminem made his name for. For me, it's J. Cole. And I love J. Cole. My man was straight out of No Vaseline's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah,
that's why I learned the important lesson. You never let a Jew break up your crew.
April Fools, let them break it up. I'm kidding.
It's crazy how that's the one word they censor in that song now. He's allowed to say all the other ones with because you let a grew. Oh, I'm stuck Russia. No. But J. Cole's tried to stay out of beefs. His one diss song is like giving advice to the mumble rapper who dissed them. When somebody attacks you and you've been the guy who's been Mr. Friendly all along, sometimes you take the gloves off and you go for the jugular and you accept, with whatever ramifications there are. But if you think you're a better rapper, and I would argue J. Cole probably is. It's a cold world. It's going to be a hell of a night. Bury him. Just bury him. Nobody loves anything more. Like everybody says they like beefs. You're right. Everybody runs to a beef. The only thing people love more than that, Pat, is the guy who's been above the beef all along. Finally going, I'm over it. Here's what I got to say. So for me, it's J. Cole. I want to see what he does next.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a J. Cole guy, but
I mean, I am. That's where you and I differ.
No, he's not, I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm not here as a 49-year-old white man saying, "Oh, J. Cole's no good." They're all great, whatever. They're all very talented at what they do. It's just his style has never been mine.
And there are people who like, if you like his style, you're a stan. You know what I mean? Like I'm super in. I like everything he does. I get it though. Right. I realize there's a bias there. For me, like I said, it's J. Cole. Also, though, if you're Kendrick Lamar, as ZZ pointed out, this isn't no Vaseline. This isn't Eminem dropping a warning shot on Nick Cannon, talking about parts of Mariah's house that nobody knows about, and then linking her voicemails into the song. You know what I mean? Like this is satin. This isn't Ether. This isn't saying Jay-Z has dick sucking lips. Like this isn't going to end somebody. This isn't hit him up. This is soft. Real gangster rap was, I see you outside, I'm going to shoot you. You know who was doing real gangster rap for a while? Chief Keef and 6ix9ine, when they would run around New York and shoot paintballs at each other. Like if you're in that much of a beef, shoot somebody. Go ahead, Pat. What other stories you got? We're done with the music.
No, I like that. First of all, Chief Keef, I know because he hangs out with the guys I love, Young Gravy and Baby No Money all the time. Those are my two. I get no beefs with my rap fan. People I love right now are white and Spanish rap men who just have fun beats and say fun stuff. Like right now, Baby No Money, all his videos are with other huge influencers on YouTube, and he puts them in all the videos. So not only does he get his millions, but he gets other millions on top of that. And even guys who aren't rappers or whatever, just like guys who play video games, they're just dancing in the background just so we can get 5 more million. That's me. Fuck the lyrics, fuck the battles. It's just money. How do I make the most money humanly fucking possible? I'm trying to find the name of something. It will tie into what I'm talking about, but I couldn't find the name there. Do you know the name of the holiday that Joe Biden just said was also on Easter?
Yeah, this is my last story too. International Day. Okay,
I'm not doing that first, but if you don't mind, can you do that first? Then I'll do my second one.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So we just talked about it,
and then we go on that. Yeah. So go ahead.
It created a lot of controversy because Joe Biden decided that yesterday, instead of Easter, was going to be International Day of Trans Disability.
Instead of Easter, it's Easter, and for those who don't celebrate.
Real easy way to determine who's going to hell and who's going to heaven now. What holiday were you celebrating yesterday? But Biden decided to make this International Day of Trans Visibility, which you knew was going to piss off the Christians. And then they took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. Everybody talking about how Biden's really the Antichrist. And it's like atheists have been doing this for years trying to get your goat. But here's where the story really gets interesting. Do you know what was inspired by the International Day of Trans Visibility?
No.
A new trend called April Foolsing, where on the International Day of Trans Visibility, you go out looking the best you can, you take some guy home, and then today you're supposed to wake up and go, surprise, April Fools, and you pull out your penis.
That is not what inspired Joe Biden's holiday.
No. This was inspired by Joe Biden's holiday.
Oh,
so
I thought you meant.
No.
Joe Biden. I thought Joe Biden's like, you guys know about April Fools? And they're like, what? He's like, yeah. We got to get people to do that shit. It's great. Here's what I'll do. I'll make them a fake holiday where we say trans people are cool. And then you fuck them, and then you wake up and they go April Fools. It's great. They're like, Joe Biden, go back to bed.
No, the opposite. All the like backlash from the Christians and everything inspired trans people to do this trend of trying to trick people celebrating Easter and then surprising them today with their penis. April Fools, you're a fool.
How do they don't find out at night that there's a penis? I think once you start doing stuff, you find out there's a penis. I don't know. I've never tussled with a cock, but I would think that you would find out mid-throw.
Shut up. It's a big clit. It's a big clit and a dry pussy.
Though it's hot, a woman telling you, shut up. Shut up.
Shut up.
Hey, I'm not
sure. My giant clit. Gag on my clit.
Gargle my balls. My hot lady balls.
My clit balls. Gargle my clit balls.
That's just Easter eggs from the search earlier I had in my pants.
My clit can't get hard unless you suck it first.
Shut up.
Shut up.
I knew it was real when she looked me in the eyes. She said, shut up. Now touch my dick.
Her hard, calloused, rough hands around my neck.
I saw a comment on an article I was reading where it said under this, because someone else mentioned this, even though this wasn't really part of the story I'm reading. It's just more
April Fools
happening on Easter. No, not Easter, just about that day, the holiday being up there now. And someone wrote underneath just a comment, or I don't have their name, but there was a great comment. They just said, wait a minute, April 10th is Mental Awareness Day. They get two now. I was like, that person rules. They wrote that on the New York Post.
I wish that person was in Baltimore. Somebody made a trans joke in their set, and then a trans woman wanted to fight, and the manager of the club was like, "You just stay in the green room." And the person had to be like, "You realize this is everything I've ever wanted out of life, right?" And then I got a fistful of equality.
The trans person looked you in the eyes and went, "Shut up."
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man! Imagine if you fought that person. That'd be great. Were they big?
I wasn't allowed to see.
Yeah, but they were in the audience at one point.
They were in the back.
You didn't see a trans person in the audience?
No, I would have made fun of them if I had. It wouldn't have been just a vague joke that got me in trouble. It would have been a direct assault. You want equality? Here it is.
They were real good at April Fool's.
Oh, they could have.
Oh,
that's my whole point. If you really wanted to get me, just April Fool's me. That's what you people are good at. And then what happens? Oh, I shot myself in the chest 6 times because I surprised somebody. That's suicide.
You saying that's my whole point? That I mean, that's what they can call their dick. It's supposed to be like their vagina. That's my whole point.
That's my whole point. Oh no!
It points out, but it points out. It's my whole point.
Jesus. So, Pat, who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it Biden? Is it trans people? Is it Christians for getting mad at trans people? Is it trans people for getting mad at Christians and surprising them? Is it Christians for getting mad at trans people surprising them, and then the Christians getting mad they got April Fools?
It's Biden. It's Biden's people and all that. It's not trans people. I don't know a ton of trans people, so I'm not going to try to sit there and say I know how they feel. But I really feel like the whole big, every time there's a big push or thing about put trans people in this, bring that up, Yeah, are they happy that now people are paying more attention so there's more safety? Because people were just like fucking them up and killing them. There weren't many of them, but people were being assholes to people that chose that lifestyle, whatever. That I don't you shouldn't be a dickhead to someone because they chose a certain lifestyle. That's your own issues. You need help. But I don't think they're asking for an extra holiday. They're definitely not asking for anyone to put a holiday on a big holiday. You're just causing more anger. To sit there and say, I'm going to put it on Easter, you're just looking to piss more people off. And you're about to go into an election year. You know what I mean? You're going to be battling against people already that want nothing to do. Bobby, you were so stoic. I thought you were frozen, but no, you're moving good.
No, sorry, I'm here.
No, but you're already battling people who are against and opposed it. The conservative side or Republican, whatever you're calling them anymore, focus way more on religion as it is. And now you've given Trump something to do here and say they're trying to take away Easter. They're trying to take away your religion. What's next? Now they're going to tell you Easter isn't Easter. What's Christmas become? And what's this become? You handed them all this dumb shit. And now trans people are going to be hated for this by certain people when they had nothing to do with it. Even if there was a couple activists that were saying it, it's Biden and his people saying, how do we get people on our side? Let's gather our masses. Like, this is a crazy fucking stupid move. Like, this is proving that no one knows what they're doing. And I'm not even saying it about, like, I'm for one side or the other. This is just stupid. Like, it's a PR move. If you're going to be somebody that's going to be like, how do we get our business going? You don't piss off one side. That could be your clientele. And by literally saying, fuck Easter, because you can say, like, we're sharing. You're not sharing it. You've now said Easter is something else. Do it another day. I'm not. You could definitely have that day. There's nothing wrong with that day. There's a billion days. You having that day is fine. And I'm not saying you should. There's no one day in. I know there's Pride Day. Do it in June or that time where it's centered around it. I'm not to gather it all at once, but what's the big fucking deal? Continue the celebration. Do whatever you're doing with it. If you're gonna, I know the gay and trans isn't the same thing, but unfortunately we've lumped that all together. We've made them the letters. They are. It is the gay alphabet, and we just say that anyway. They're not. They're all separate people. They don't want to be buds. Lesbians and gays aren't friends, but like they have two. If anyone has two different viewpoints in the world, it's lesbians and gays. They are very on board with just one thing. It's like, I might be a guy, but I like women.
Yeah.
Women are like, I fuck men. I don't like that. And men are like, I don't like women. We're the ones that, weirdly enough, we're the ones that are most open-minded out of all of them because we want to fuck each other. So, but it's Biden, 100% hands down for doing this, putting it out there and saying fuck you to anyone who's religious. And like, your day doesn't matter. It's such a big day. And I know, for even if you're not Catholic or Christian or whatever, you still understand, like, Jesus is like the biggest part of the difference between most religions. And you're literally, it's like, the Jews are like, yeah, we're on board with everything else you guys do, except for the part with your little magic man. You know, like the superhero who was born and came to Earth and ran around. We don't buy that shit. And I get that. Like, they put in their own guy because they wanted DC. It's like DC and Marvel. They kind of like, they have different heroes. And that's kind of, Jesus is a different hero. That's it. But that being said, even they know. They're tied into that story. You killed them and this or whatever. Take that away. It's taking away both sides of everyone's stories. Just go, no, that doesn't matter now. It's just about trans people, which there aren't many trans people in the world to even care about. Like, numbers wise, it's not even 1%. And so why did that be a day that you would do Easter? So it's Biden and his dummies for fucking even putting this out there, thinking this is a good move. It's going to hurt even your other base, not your core base, but your outside, I was going to vote Democrat base. It's kind of like, you're fucking with Easter? That's a little weird.
Yeah, I see that. I could play it the other way, though, where I think this is very tongue-in-cheek by, it's not Biden. He's not smart enough to pull this shit. But the fact that you made Trans Visibility Day the day before April Fool's and on the day where it's Easter is kind of like tongue-in-cheek. I could see somebody who's like not a super Christian being like, oh, I see what he's doing here. He's trying to play ball. But I think you're right. Like, that's where Trump's made his bread and butter. And the people who find it entertaining aren't going to be motivated to vote as much as the people who are pissed off that you did it against you. But I don't think it was intentional. Like, I think there was some thought behind it. I don't think it's I don't think you can get mad at trans people. Like, I think it's kind of funny all the Christians are so angry when, like, what would Jesus have done? Everybody knows Judas betrayed him because Judas was the first trans, right?
That's all.
Like,
that's
Judas, Everybody knows Judas would dress as
Everyone
Mary
knows that.
Magdalene. They would all fuck Mary Magdalene, all 12 of them. And then at the dinner, their last dinner, Jesus bumped his dick and was like, wait a second, one of you is going to betray me. So Judas was like, before he reveals that I'm both Judas and Mary Magdalene, I have to kill him. Let me talk to the one group who's good at killing people that don't like trans, the Jews.
Like people say to me all the time, like, Pat, you don't know a lot of stuff, but they always say the one thing Pat knows, everyone knows, Judas was the first trans. That's the one thing that I know and everyone knows.
Judas literally means fake penis.
Yeah.
No, fake body, fake vagina. I mean, in Aramaic, yeah. And Judas, Mary Magdalene, that's what that painting's about. Why is he smiling? Because he tricked Jesus into blowing his big clit. It's not the Christians.
Big clit came out.
Big clit. It's not Christians because like this is what you
Big
do.
Clit Lamar.
And it's not trans people for doing April Fools, and that's just a fun game to play. Like if you had a secret to hide and using it to make people uncomfortable and
or
revealing
a penis
it.
to hide.
Yeah. For me, it's Jesus.
Wah, wah.
If God really hates,
Jesus noise.
if God really hates fags, come back and make a declaration yesterday and be like, whoa, just so everybody knows, be up in the sky and just be like, just so everybody knows, it's my day. And I had a penis, was born with it. Sure, the Jews cut it and then clipped it and then sucked on it a little bit because that's what they do to kids. Nobody has any weird questions, but I'm Jesus. Look at the holes in my hand.
I love huge clits and I cannot lie. These other brothers can't deny. I forgot to make one point when I was saying that before. So, the other reason why it's fucked up what he did is because it's not like Easter always falls on the same day. So, Transparency Day is going to be March 31st. That's going to be not Easter. It's not going to float with
Transparents. Transparents. E-Day is just a bunch of people crying like, where did we go wrong?
But as much as I gathered from that, that's what it is. It's not going to be every time it's Easter, it's Transparency Day. It's going to be every time it's March 31st, I believe. So if falling in with April Fool's the next day, that part will always stay. Unless I'm wrong, if he's literally going to make this holiday whenever Easter happens, it's Transparency Day, that's even crazier. But the fact that he could have just did it a year earlier or a year later or just chose a different day, you can make it March 31st, but just don't say Easter. Literally say March 31st is now also da-da-da. And if people go, that's Easter. And you're like, well, it's Easter this year. And it happens to fall on Easter, but going forward, Easter's not always March 31st. It can be received a little bit better. But because it was like Easter is also, it's like, it's not. Unless I'm wrong, someone can tell me, are they literally putting this on a floating day wherever Easter falls this
No,
I don't believe that's the case.
You're right. They picked the 31st, but I wish they had chosen Easter and Biden had come out and been like, what? Jesus was a man. They killed him, and now he's a god. We're celebrating the same shit here.
Jesus went into a hole, came out, and he was different. He had risen, just like penises on a trans person. You didn't see it happening, and badoosh, here's your bone.
And what did we do with Jesus? All of a sudden, everybody had to listen to everything he said and pretended like he was super smart just because he died. Yeah, you can make a point there.
And it seems like the world cares what they have to say, but in reality, it was 12 people.
Are you, just because today's the day after Easter, do you know the story, the Buddhist story of Jesus?
I know of it a little bit, but yeah, go ahead and tell it.
But basically, he disappeared from like age 12 to 30. And a lot of people say he went and studied Buddhism. And then when they crucified him, he meditated to a point of like relaxation. A bunch of Buddhist healers snuck into the tomb and snuck him out the back, healed him, rested him up. And that's why everybody was seeing Jesus for the next, like if you follow the Acts where they're like, Jesus is showing up, it was actually the real Jesus. It's kind of a fun story.
I hate when I go see, that's like Australian Pink Floyd or British Pink Floyd. You can go and you're like, I'm going to see Pink Floyd. And you go, it's like, that's not Pink Floyd. You want to see real Pink Floyd, but real Pink Floyd, like Jesus, is dead.
I mean, he's inside of all of us. Kind of like a trans person playing April Fools.
God damn it. Bobby 2 for 2 with the quickness.
Pat, finish his story because I don't know if I can keep going at this pace.
I've got one more thing that I want to bring up. I just gotta find the story. Where is it here? Because now I was looking up Ferguson. Okay, so this one, like I said, doesn't tie in with it, but also is something to do with Easter, and I kind of wanted to bring both up. Did you hear about the protests outside St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York, sir?
I sure did.
All right.
But please tell the people more.
Serial protesters disrupt Easter Mass at St. Patrick's with Free Palestine chants before cops haul them away. Yes, protesters decided that on Easter, I get obviously not going to the whole world and not saying where the Pope lives and all that. If you're gonna say like what's the most iconic Catholic church in America, I'm guessing you say St. Patrick's Cathedral. Am I wrong, Bobby? Someone would know religion more than me.
I would say that's probably about right.
Or at least the most recognizable. There
Definitely
might be other ones that have more
identifiable,
power and things of that nature, but like when you're going that, not like Mormons and when you're going Catholic, Roman Catholic Church, you're going boom right there. And a trio, it's just 3 people seeking attention from protesters. One who, by the way, if you don't know, one of those was the guy who glued his feet at the U.S. Open. Remember that guy? The guy who's like, I'm going to protest.
Yeah.
That guy's back, and that guy's doing new shit. So it's kind of like Jackass making a 2. Where it's like, rah, 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 rah. I wish they would do that with him. They would play the Jackass music, bah, 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 and it's just him stuck to a thing, and then him getting grabbed by cops in front of the church. But his feet were glued to the stand as part of the climate change stunt back then. Him and 2 other people were cuffed and hauled out of St. Patrick's Cathedral after disrupting Easter Mass with shouts of Free Palestine on Saturday night, cops say. Police were called into the iconic Midtown Cathedral for complaints about disorderly groups before 9. The protesters were quickly taken out of service. And there were some people that were, by the way, I'll say their names because fuck them. Matthew Menzies, 31, John Rosendahl, 63, and Gregory Schwedock, 35. It's kind of weird that a 63-year-old guy's with those 230. That's a little fucking goofy that guy's out there doing that. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like a young man's game. The protesting of a church, gluing yourself to shit. That's a young man's game, right?
Yeah. How bad did you get fucked by a priest that at 60 years old you're still doing this?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely that because I just read you those 3 names, right? Matthew Menzies, John Rosendahl, and Gregory Schwedock. Find me the Jewish person in this story. I'm not saying their names. That's not Jewish names.
But they were protesting for Palestine. Those are certainly not Palestinian names either.
They're not anything. Those are just 3 guys who also have a plumbing place together.
Yeah.
Go to Menzies,
the world's
Rosendale,
worst.
And Schwedock.
Yeah, the world's laziest plumbing crew.
While being escorted one yelled Free Palestine. Schwedock on the either side was arrested in September. So Schwedock is the 35-year-old. He was arrested at the U.S. Women's Open for what he did. Their stunt stalled the match for nearly 50 minutes. This one, they came in. Now, people are behind protests, obviously. There's always a group of people like, let them say their thing, whatever. But most people were against this yesterday, or Saturday night. Because their whole thing was like, you don't have to do it during the Mass. You don't have to do it on that day. You don't have to, you know what I mean? I know what you're doing, but like, it's a battle back and forth. Okay, so Rosendale, the 63-year-old, an Inwood resident, was previously arrested in April after spray painting climate criminal in No New Oil on a window at a city bank. So they're all like goofballs who do shit. Now, I get it. They wanted to do it during the service. They wanted to get the most attention. But once again, if you did it today, then you could just say April. I don't know why more protesters don't do this. When you're getting pulled away, you're like, April. I know it doesn't get you out of jail. It's not accident free, but at least you can be like, oh, just kidding. You know what I mean? And then they'll go, wah, wah, and then laugh. The 3 noisemakers barged into the church following a protest by thousands of Palestine marchers in Times Square. So if people are marching around Times Square, that makes it, you do your protest around Times Square, that's fine. You see it all the time. You protest your shit, it's fine. There's people in New York City who protest wearing pants all the time. I see them with no pants, just running around going, no pants, no pants. You're like, all right, put on pants, but I'm not going to tell you how to live. At least some of
This isn't what I meant when I said Trans Day of Visibility, sir. Please put your pants back on.
Yeah. Guess what's visible? My balls. At least some of the protesters were with Extinction Rebellion's NYC's Palestinian Solidarity Group and carried a flag with an olive tree and the word silence equals death written across it, which is not the most fun thing ever, but I guess they got to sell your merch anyway. Many attending the Mass, led by Cardinal Timothy Dolan, the Archbishop of New York, did not react to the disruption, but some gathered outside the church Saturday evening's demonstration felt like it was a sign of disrespect. I guess during church they said, "Screw it, we're going to keep going, whatever." One churchgoer said that they didn't want to be named, but she works as a lawyer, and she said felt the activists should have taken their demonstration elsewhere, not inside the church. You can do it outside the church. Don't go inside the church. That's a level where you're being an asshole. But then again, it's three people that are looking for attention. Once I see that a protester does other protests, I don't think, oh, they're an activist. I think they're an attention seeker. There's a difference.
That's what Terry was pointing out. Yeah, they're paid. 1 week you're getting arrested for climate change, the next it's for Palestine. Pick an issue, buddy.
Right. That's the thing. Yeah. There are people that have been protesting the same thing forever. They march, they do whatever. Like, I have family members who are always at any of the marches or anything like that for women's rights and things like that. My sisters are very into that. They don't put their names out there or do anything, but they are very active and they're there all the time in solidarity. And I appreciate that. That's part of their American rights to do whatever they want to do with that. But they're not going to go make other people's lives hell or go in and make people feel nervous. Do you know how many shootings we have in goddamn America? You're in church, you're at the Easter, it's in New York City. We're talking about, like, literally, I hate to say it, the World Trade Center equivalent of churches in America. If you're going to knock one down and say, fuck a religion, that's it. So people busting in, yeah, they're talking about Palestine, but now what are they going to think? Terrorists. They're lucky people didn't get shot and killed. Like, going into that heightened area, doing that kind of thing, you can say, oh, I'm just protesting, yelling things. What would you think's going to happen? Maybe a bomb, maybe something not. You don't know what it's about at first. You know, when you choose your battles, also choose where you're battling.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it people protesting, you know, just in general? Like, or do protests ever work? Like, do they? I don't know if protests ever really work. I get to get some words out a little bit, but I don't know if anyone ever. I don't ever remember even like that. You know, like when the little Chinese person was like, "Oh, look at you, you're a tank." Nobody gave a fuck. They're like, it's a fun picture, but
they killed that kid a minute later.
I don't know what the protest was about. Maybe it was about tanks, but I've seen tanks since. They didn't stop tanks. You know what I mean? They didn't stop Chinese kids. Maybe that tank was protesting that Chinese kid. Maybe it was reverse. I didn't get it. And the tank's like, stop being Chinese kids. They're like, nope, we'll never stop. Not stopping.
If the tank was protesting Chinese little girls, it kind of won for a while.
Well, to be fair, though, that wasn't a protest that was needed. It was already happening. They were on the right side of the history of that one. But it wasn't the problem there. Is it the Catholic Church for getting upset but not doing more? Should they be really more? They're saying, like, we just continue church. Should they have stopped mass? Should there have been more, like, violence? Probably not. No, but, like, how do you stop this shit? Is it these three dorks who just want attention all the time? The U.S. Open guy gluing your feet to stuff is the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. At least he didn't glue his feet to this shit here. But do you understand that the attention that these three guys got, getting pulled away and arrested, is basically the same that Lewis Black and everyone else from Opie and Anthony got when they were out there having sex in front of it. They got treated the same way, pulled away and told cut the shit. I mean, yeah, they're going to get in more trouble probably a little later on, but that's all in their minds. It's the same as a crazy radio prank. This dumb thing you're doing. Is it the people that are out speaking out saying you can protest, but don't do it inside? I get what they're saying, but you're telling a protester not to do something that's more attention. A true protester does want to make sure people hear it. You can't tell them you do it because it's like when you're telling your kids they can play the drums, but then when they get drums and you bought them the drums and they play it once in their room and you're like, fucking gee, I know I got you drums, but can you go play it somewhere else? Like, I don't have a second home, Mom. I'm 12. Where the fuck am I supposed to play? You're the one who told me I can have drums. So people are telling these protesters to get out there and protest, and then now I can't go into church, but I'm protesting the church. Even though, yes, I know you can go through a long thing we're not going to go through about the tie-ins. It's really not that. Nothing at St. Patrick's Cathedral is messing with Palestine right now. That mass wasn't messing with anything right there at that moment. Or is it us for trying to tackle a conversation we shouldn't tackle? Who's a piece of shit?
It's not us. We're the most qualified to handle this conversation.
The protesters, Palestine. That's our things.
Yep, those are our two big things. Charlotte, is a piece of shit. The protesters are a piece of shit. We know that though. Like it's almost like getting mad at the scorpion for stinging the frog. You know what its nature is. You don't do it. For me, it's not the Archbishop. He's been through a lot. You brought up Sex for Sam, is what I think you were referencing, right? Where they had anal
By the
sex
way,
in that
I don't
church.
drive, Terry, so take that.
I was waiting for you to put that up, so I'd be like, Pat doesn't drive anywhere. Pat got a friend. Pat got Dion to drive all of his. It's not the Archbishop. They've been going through a bunch of shit lately. They're Sex for Sam, obviously. But I recently got a phone call from my aunt who was like, "Hey, I heard about your boss, Anthony Cumia, because they at this St. Patrick's had a trans funeral." And they tricked the church, had a trans funeral, and they were like, is there going to have to be a mass of apology? And no, the only time there had to be a massive apology was when there was anal sex in their church. But even then, they didn't get in trouble for the anal sex. They got in trouble when they were told to leave. Paul Mercurio decided to be a tough guy. That's when trouble. They just want people to be outside. And I get it's kind of like telling protesters what to do, be in or out. But what they're saying is, we don't care if you're on our property. Just don't come into the church. And that's a big difference. Like giving people a place on your property to protest against you, just going, don't fuck with this because it's our sacred center. You know what I mean? I think that's a reasonable request. For me, the piece of shit is all the people who were attending that mass. You are attending Easter Mass. If you're truly a Christian, this is the greatest moment of the story. Right? Your team was down 30 points. The guy who was your hero, they killed. And then all of a sudden, he rose from the dead. Go knock these protesters the fuck out. Get moved by the Holy Spirit. You know where they didn't try that? At a Southern Black Baptist Mass. Because one old fucking Golden Gloves boxer was going to get caught with the Holy Spirit and knock them the fuck out. Go stomp these people out. Prove your faith. My only regret about Easter now is that I wasn't at St. Patrick's Saturday night. So I could have hit one of these protesters.
Whoa, punches. By the way, Jesus.
Yeah, get moved by the Holy Spirit. Fucking knock these dudes out.
He's the Kirk Gibson of fucking religion. I didn't even think of that. You said that. It's like he's down, he's hurt, one wing's hurt, and then he still hits a home run. You're like, Jesus, Jesus. You cheer the whole time.
Yeah, it's the greatest comeback story of all time. They killed him, and guy was like, nah, suck on this. Right here. Crucify this.
I'm just gonna say 1 second on something. I saw a comment. We're gonna get right back to this and ended up. But and Bobby's not saying anything. This is me talking on my own. But I saw somebody say something there to Bobby about going on a certain show because you had brought up Kumia, so it made me look at that thing and think that someone's asking that why won't you go on this certain show? Hey, if Kevin Brennan wants to talk to Bobby, be a guest on our show. We'd love you to come on here. If you want to talk about anything, you can talk to him with me here too. But in that case. I mean, why would he go somewhere else when he's got a show? You come here. You be a guest on our. We come on. We'll talk about the whole time. We'll be very fun and nice. You come on here. Anyway, go ahead protesting.
Yeah, just knock out the protesters.
Yeah,
that's my point. This is what you dream about. And ZZ or Christian has been right the whole time. Like these guys who block off your path, like you can't really hit because there are cops around. This is a church. Everybody's gonna lie for you. Did you not hear what they did to the kids? They covered it up. They're just going to move you to a different parish because of your assault charge. I've heard this story before. It's not that big of a deal. They're going to take the bishop's annual collection, give a little bit of money to the victims, not enough to make up for it, and you're going to be fine.
Well, yeah, but I think the protesters dropped the ball on this. Because if they were paying attention, I know protesters get so into their thing, they don't know the rest of the world's going on. They're like, everything is Palestine, everything. If you're a true protester, it's that. The three superstar dorks who got arrested because they're just paid guys, whatever. Who gives a fuck? It's the main ones. Yeah, you're saying Palestine, but you should be on your sign being like, Free Palestine and Happy Transparency Rights Day. Like, you're at a church. This should be the battle because that's who would be against that more. Now you've got the double. Now you get your trans people with your Palestine people, and they're together as a super group. And now people don't know how to fucking deal with that protest. That's the merger nobody wanted. That's what people didn't realize. Shocking.
I think you're playing this completely backwards, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. What's wrong?
Because, like, if you're pro-Palestine, you run into a Easter Mass with a sign that says F the Jays. You could have gotten that chant going at church. They killed Jesus. This is your one chance to unify Christians and the pro-Palestine people, and you blew it. Don't irritate them. Sign them up.
But see, yeah, but you're going with the approach of like gain more. I was talking about like we need more yelling on the outside. You were trying to bring shit together, which is that's a wonderful thing. I was thinking of like a double hate group coming out. You've got because you're trying to protest something on the it was Saturday when they did it, but it was for the Easter man, it was the vigil. But doing it about that day coming up the next day, which is Easter. No, it's not. It's Trans Day, whatever. So why not tie them together and have free Palestine and my balls? You know what I mean? Like that's a good sign. Like my balls should be allowed to hang free in a dress, and Palestine should be able to hang out whenever they want.
That's a great point. I also didn't realize it was the Easter Vigil because the protesters really fucked up. That's a long ass, boring mass. Everybody in attendance was probably like, "Thank God we broke this up a little bit." That was kind of fun.
And that's and also a Saturday night in New York City. You're fucking taking a chance of getting knocked the fuck out because guess who's also walking around? A guy who hates opinions, and that guy's been walking around punching everybody. You keep going, free this. Oh, yeah, free punch, free right, free left. Our boy.
Oh, you're a woman now? Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, guess who's getting punched? New York's got all the cool criminals. They really do. There's a lot of fun people. I want that Legion of Doom.
There aren't Palestinian trans women as much as there are Iranian trans women, where if you're gay, they force you to get a sex change. So who doesn't like getting their dick cut off corporate style?
Me. I do not like that ever. Hey everybody, subscribe, like, all the fun stuff. Well, thank you for some new members. The last couple of days, a couple of our people in the chat joined the Patreon. It's all over the weekend that our boy Dominic joined. So thank you very much.
Hey Dominic.
Like I said, the POS shows will be the evening ones will be the ones right now that you only can watch live here, and then they will live over on Patreon, and we'll be doing that with one of the episodes a week here soon as well. So I don't know if we're gonna have a new just only Patreon episodes going up there. Maybe down the road. Right now, still trying to build this up, but we appreciate you guys there supporting us so we can do these things and just dumb little things like keeping the services going, and we appreciate that. So like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Wednesday we have a guest again, comedian Matthew Sloan will be coming on. Bobby, I've told you about him, but I didn't say his name. When I told you a couple weeks ago, there was a guy that was so drunk that he was like, Pat, get away from me, and then went on stage. It's that guy. I don't think he remembers that he was that drunk that day, but he's a crazy guy. He's good friends with Pops Theron, who was a guest on our show, and he saw Pops on. He's like, I want to come on, Pops on. And he also offered he could bring a blind comedian with him. I said, I don't know if we want that for the first one, but maybe down the road, blind comedian will be on as well. But he'll be on Wednesday. So
hell yeah,
there for that. I would guess that tomorrow night we're doing another one again, Bobby. Right? We're doing regular POS. I would assume. I don't know time yet.
We'll figure it out. I believe so. Yeah.
It'll just so people on the Patreon, you always get the heads up first, being told when they're going to be on live, and then if you subscribe to us and on there, I do put them up early so you know what the next show's coming up. But usually we should see you Tuesday night. We should see you Wednesday morning. Bobby, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, April 11th through the 13th, Phoenix. Come on out and see your boy do some stand-up. This weekend I'm with Earl David Reed in Limerick. And make sure you're subscribed to all the places. And if you're, a Davey Mac Sports Program fan, I would check his stream around noon today.
Who are you in Phoenix with? With Aaron?
Aaron Berg, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's great.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Have you ever been that far out to perform?
No, that'll be the furthest. I did Vegas. That was
awesome.
one. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. A lot of fun shows this weekend. I don't remember the
Improv?
name. I think so.
Maybe the Tempe Improv. That's a fun little place. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I got a show. I don't mean to trump your Phoenix, Arizona, but I'll be in Derby, Connecticut. I'll be in Derby on Friday doing a thing there, and Thursday I'm at Comics Mohegan Sun. Friday 10 p.m. Friday I'm at Derby at Twisted Vine. Come out and see some shows there. We appreciate all you guys watching this morning. Happy transparent Easter Palestine Day, fools, to all of you, and we'll see you guys either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. Bobby,
if you can't join them, beat them, and remember, the stone the builders rejected became the cornerstone.